Okay, we should be live. We got a few people in here thus far. Jared, I can't get into the Discord to get in the mock, so sad. Yeah, no worries. I will be linking it both in the live stream chat as well as the Discord. So first come, first serve. Whoever's in here first, obviously, gets dibs on the spot. Can't wait. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun, man. Honestly, just finished up championship weekend. You guys would have known the Philadelphia Eagles and Kansas City Chiefs would be meeting up in this year's Super Bowl. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie. As a Cowboys fan, that hurt a little bit watching the Eagles take care of business. But at the end of the day, they built a proper roster. They surrounded their quarterback with adequate talent, and anytime you have a capable roster able to put up 30 plus points with the quarterback, not having to do too much, they built their team well. I got to give them credit, man. Honestly, they deserved to be where they are at this year. It's a wake up call because, I mean, as a Cowboys fan, you see, how they built their roster, how they built their offensive personnel, and you kind of realize, like, gotta have talent, man. Like, if you have one receiver on the outside, you got CeeDee Lamb, you got nothing else to support, man. You need that support to be able to beat these top defenses in the NFL, especially when it comes to playoff time. So kudos to the Eagles. I'll give them their flowers. They deserve to be where they are. Hurts to say because obviously, I hate them with a passion, but this year's Super Bowl should be very, very interesting. Hopefully, Mahomes is fully healthy by then, and we could see, a very, very proper game between Andy Reid and his former team. What's up, Leo? What's up? Huge fan. Yeah, anytime, brother. Anytime. Let's go. We got Spicy in the cut. Let's go. Edward says, just traded Hopkins, Dobbins, 103 and 205 for AJ Brown, Lawrence. Out of Lawrence to my Hurts. Yeah, that is a steal in my opinion. If I'm kind of looking at this right now, realistically, I think I would just rather Lawrence. Yeah, I definitely would just rather Lawrence than the entire other package. So you got a free AJ Brown, in my opinion. Wish I could draft. I'll be back for my lunch. That's fine. That's fine. I should be live for about 45-ish to an hour. We'll see how it goes. We'll gauge it. Planning at least one dynasty full draft and then potentially a dynasty rookie mock draft. So that's the baseline. Maybe if we have some time, I'll do something else. But yeah, we'll figure it out. What receiver could I get if I trade Nick Chubb, 12th team Superflex PPR Dynasty? If we're looking in terms of ADP, Nick Chubb is probably around, fourth, fifth round type of equity. Maybe if you can, add a little bit and get like a Devontae Smith, that would be great. If not, I mean, you're kind of looking at, if you could somehow get like Drake London, because somebody might be low on him because he didn't have a great rookie year from the box score perspective. If you can ship Nick Chubb straight up for Drake London right now, that would be a smash. But otherwise, I'd kind of look in that mid-teen to maybe early 20 type of area at wide receiver. Just traded Tony Pollard in the 211 for AJ Dillon for the 203. I feel like AJ Dillon will have good value. So yeah, I don't mind that move. Honestly, I think Pollard and AJ Dillon for the most part are kind of a wash, and you're upgrading from the 211 to the 203. I think that's fine. How do you think Kellen Moore to the Chargers affects fantasy? Good question. Okay, so I'm seeing, I'm like halfway on Kellen Moore, to be honest. I see a lot of people, saying, "Oh, he's led Dallas to these top 5 offenses the last couple years," and it was bad business management on them for letting Kellen Moore go. The problem with Kellen Moore is that he keeps his scheme very, very simple, right? And sometimes that's very good. You want a simple scheme when it works. The problem is he's very bad at adapting when a good, defensive coordinator is able to challenge what he does. So if you guys are unfamiliar, the meme about Kellen Moore, especially amongst Cowboys fans, is that all he damn runs in the passing game are seam routes, curls, and sticks. The problem with Dallas and what ultimately unraveled them in the playoffs is that if you're running curls and sticks, the problem with that is, like, in theory, you think, oh, you know what? You're going to run your stick, you're going to run your curl, and you're just going to catch it intermediate and maybe make a play. If you're playing an aggressive defense like San Francisco and an aggressive defense coordinator like DeMeco Ryans, what he's going to teach his guys is he's going to say, hey, listen, this team outside of CeeDee Lamb does not have any verticality on their offense. T.Y. Hilton, Noah Brown, Michael Gallup, none of them are going to be able to separate. None of them are going to be able to hit you with a double move and be able to separate deep. So what he was instilling in those guys, especially in that playoff game, is playing those intermediate routes. So we saw it time over time in that game that people are going to look at Dak, and admittedly, Dak did not have a great game, even though I'm a big Dak supporter. But you watch that game over, and I did multiple times. he had no options. Like they blanketed CD Lamb in the middle of the field, and they basically just said, "Hey, listen, if you're going to throw this curl route, I'm just going to teach my DBs to play super, super close and try to potentially jump the ball." And we saw that happen a couple times. So I really hope for Justin Herbert's sake, for the Chargers offense sake, that we can kind of see some, variety built into Kellen Moore's game. Again, maybe for Kellen Moore's sake, that was more so, a front office thing, or Mike McCarthy thing potentially, as to why he was so simplistic with his route concepts. But if we can see some diversity, I would be fine with it. Because again, when he's on his game, when he's, in his flow, Kellen Moore can be a solid offensive coordinator. But the problem is early down runs, curls, sticks, you name it. No real variety in the passing game. So hopefully, again, for Herbert's sake, that can kind of, adjust itself. But as a Cowboys fan, I definitely wanted to see change. And, people might get on me because of how successful the Cowboys offense has been for the most part. But I want to see like an offensive coordinator that can make those in-game adjustments when you're playing a San Francisco, when you're playing, maybe a Philadelphia in the playoffs last year. So that's my thoughts. I think he's a fine offensive coordinator. I don't think he's a needle mover, if you will. I just got offered Tyreek and Aaron Jones for a 2024 first, 2025 first, and 2024 second. I'm not willing to pay all that for those two guys. Realistically, at this point, Aaron Jones is probably just about worth that 2024 second, and I'm not giving up 2 firsts for Tyreek Hill. Hey, can I participate? Yeah, I will be putting the link to both to the mock also in the chat for live stream. So if you guys want to get in, I'll be providing that within the next couple minutes. Our final 2 minute returns teams got wiped yesterday because it was Bengals heavy. That's pain. That's pain. I think I ended up making like $1,000 yesterday because of my advanced teams. That's pretty cool, at least. The one that I was hoping for was I had a Bengals 49ers stack that made it, and obviously it didn't advance, so that was pain. Lombardi only ran curls and sticks, though, so adding the seams will be euphoric. That is fair. At least like you're getting a little bit better of a deep passing concept with Kellen Moore compared to Joe Lombardi. But for those that just think, automatically Justin Herbert's going to go from one of the lowest ADOT type of passers in the NFL, given the Lombardi scheme last year, to suddenly, fully maximizing his, down the field potential. I just don't think that Kellen Moore is exactly going to be that guy for him, to be honest. 10-team Superflex 101 needs a quarterback. What would I have to add to move 102 to 101? Realistically, in a 10-team Superflex, I would realistically, I'd be willing to give up to like 102 and 107 if you can get that done. Though, if you have to pay like 102 and like 105, so be it. It depends really what the status of your roster is. I would need to see your roster realistically if I'm going to advise that type of move, because the only type of teams I'm willing to trade up for and get Bijan on are teams that I'm looking to transition into a contender. So I would need to know more insight in terms of what your roster is looking like. Good sheet. Yes, sir. I got to offer Josh Allen and Dameon Pierce for Fields in the 102 and a 12-man Superflex. Thoughts? I'm willing to pay for Josh Allen. Unless you have an immediate need at quarterback, which, I mean, realistically, I'm assuming you're in a decent spot if you're even entertaining the deal. Give me Josh Allen all day, every day. I think Fields and the 102 on their own are just about Josh Allen. So that's really good. George Pickens for a mid to late 2024 first. I personally wouldn't mind that, but I do think given the current market, you can potentially, get a little bit added to that. Because, I mean, George Pickens is currently valued on Keep Trade Cut as a top 20 wide receiver. What up, Danny? I appreciate the content. Appreciate you, Vorador. We're about 9 minutes into the live stream. I will copy this link and provide it for both the Discord and the YouTube chat. So give me a second and I'll get that done for you guys. First of all, quickly put it in the Discord. Feel free to leave some chats while I'm doing this. I'll look on the side. Toronto Dave, best way to parlay the 108 and 111 into more value. Got a low value roster. I personally would just be looking for future value picks. Like if you can get, 2024 capital, even 2025 capital, you just said right now that you got a low value roster. Just maybe try to see if you can get, for the 108 to 2024 1 and 2. Some leagues might be willing to do that. Or for the 111, just a 2024 straight up, and just continue building, that arsenal. You don't want any production on your team right now. You want to rid yourself of as much production as possible if you have a low value roster. So your best bet is just keeping on acquiring that future liquidity that you can use when you're ready to, acquire some pieces. So that would be my advice. You don't need players until you're willing to contend. That's my philosophy. All love, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Thoughts on Michael Thomas? Traded Purdy in a fourth for him and a one quarterback for the shot of him. And one quarterback, I'm more than comfortable paying that price. That's like nothing to me. Here, let me put that in. At everyone join up. All right, I will put the link in the chat. First come, first serve, as always. And then once we're ready, I will get this started. 103 or Deshaun Watson. Give me Deshaun Watson there, Madden. Give me Deshaun Watson all day, every day. After the 49ers game, do you think they'll probably go back to Lance? It's tough to say. I mean, Brock Purdy got hurt in that game, realistically. So it depends what their thoughts were going into that game, in my opinion. If they preferred Lance over Purdy, they would go back to Lance. If they prefer Purdy, they would go back to Purdy. I don't really think that game is going to tell you much about exactly what their plan is. This one actually is not a third down reversal. We could potentially try the next one as a third down reversal if you guys are down. Whatever you guys want to do, feel free. Okay, Bless, appreciate that answer. Yeah, anytime. I'm happy. I'm happy to help. Yo, what's good, Danny? I'm in an 8-team league superflex PPR. Have the 101 and the 102. Have a CeeDee Lamb for 102 offer in my inbox. Give me CeeDee Lamb all day, every day. Yeah, especially in an 8-team superflex, you're going to be able to scrounge up the quarterback value for your own sake. They're not as scarce. Yeah, I would much rather just CeeDee Lamb there. Yeah, okay. By the way, this draft is started. Let me share my screen because that would be ideal for you guys. So far, I mean, pretty, on par. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, and Lamar Jackson. So you're seeing the quarterback run. I mean, this is an FSC room, so it makes a ton of sense. Typically, this is a weird spot, right? Because I love Jefferson. I love Chase. I may try to see what a Jefferson team would build like. So I'm going to try Jefferson here. It sucks not taking a quarterback in the first round, but I think this is the spot where if you're going to take Jefferson, this is the value for him. So I'm more than fine making that pick there. Brady, Lamar, Rodgers might be the next 49ers quarterback. That would be could you imagine Lamar in that situation, man? That would be fucking crazy, in my opinion. So far, though, you guys see Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Trevor Lawrence. I took Justin Jefferson. Jamar Chase quickly after him off the board. Justin Fields off the board. Now Fletsky at that 111 spot. So if we're looking at it, I'm assuming he's probably going to take one of these quarterbacks. He had Deshaun Watson, and I'm expecting probably both of these guys to be off the board. Appreciate you, Danny. I also have an Algier and 108 for the 105 offer. Should I do that too? I would just rather the 105, to be honest. I think there's a pretty decent tier gap, especially in terms of quarterback equity. If when Anthony Richardson went top 5 there, so I would just take the 105. Hard not to go quarterback, but I'm with you on that. That would be, yeah, it's tough not to go with the quarterback there, but I mean, realistically, you're hoping that one of these guys potentially falls. Not to give away my strategy, though. Unfortunately for me, I do think they're probably going to be the next 3 picks, so I'm going to be left in a little bit of a dilemma. Yeah. Smarty, wait, you give up the 105? No, I would rather the 105 there. I would rather the 105. Oh, am I able to get a quarterback? Here's the question. Brent's hearing this right now. He's probably just like, no, sir, you are not getting your preferred option, but I'll take either of the top 2. Yeah, Kyler Murray here. I'm building up future value still. A 23-year-old receiver, superstar quarterback when he's available. So I think getting Kyler Murray at that spot is nice. Yeah, same. I'm asking Marty. Oh, fair. Yeah, no, I would take the 105 for me. AJ Brown, Jalen Waddle, both off the board in the next 2 wide receiver spots. Still got an Amon St. Brown, T. Higgins type, some good wide receiver value. Now, oh yeah, if you're giving Algier in the 108, absolutely, I would be willing to do that there, Marty. By the way, I just realized my name is not showing, so I'll pop that up on the screen. For those that don't know, Bush is enjoying a nice little trip in Mexico with his girlfriend. So a big shout out to Mr. Bushy. Let's see where Caden goes here. CJ Stroud. Yeah, I like that pick. You get the quarterback equity at that spot. Should be interesting. T. Higgins off the board as well. For those that want to see the roster right now, obviously just Kyler Murray and Justin Jefferson occupying my 2 spots. See, at this point, if I was in a startup and I knew that I took Kyler Murray and I knew that I wouldn't be able to get quarterback equity realistically because I think Tua and Trey Lance and maybe even Will Levis might go by my next pick. Maybe Anthony Richardson falls, but that would be the only option. If I was in the spot in a startup, this is where I'd be selling all of my mid round picks for future value because I want to make sure that I get that high impact, high quality players with Justin Jefferson and Kyler Murray that can be my cornerstones, and then I'd be able to get 2024 capital, 2025 capital, potentially add my quarterback once I'm ready to compete when Kyler Murray is fully healthy. Because realistically, I position myself in a spot where Kyler Murray is not realistically going to play within the first 4 or 5 weeks to start the year. And if I build this thing correctly, I could pretty much guarantee myself a top 3 to 4 type of pick. And as we know, the 2024 class with how it profiles, that's going to be a very valuable pick. So if I was in a real startup right now, these round 3 to round 7 type of area picks would all be on the block, and I'd be willing to give for future capital. What do you see the Jets doing in the draft, Danny? The Wilson experiment is done, in my opinion. I don't think they're drafting a quarterback. I think they're going to go after a guy like Aaron Rodgers, maybe a Derek Carr, a veteran signal stopper or signal caller. Because realistically, you can't continue that, Zach Wilson experiment. A rookie quarterback's not realistically, especially at their spot, going to be able to carry this roster to the playoffs. Do you get, a nice veteran quarterback, a Jimmy Garoppolo, Derek Carr, Aaron Rodgers type? I think you can absolutely maybe even, win the division given how strong their defense is. So I really like where the Jets are at if they can add that quarterback. Obviously, we got to take the L on the chin there if you're, us at FSC with how Zach Wilson basically has developed. Sean Watson, the pick 104 Dynasty Superflex. Give me Deshaun Watson all day, every day in a Superflex. Rookie draft this year, should you be trying to move up from the 109 to the top 5? What would the cost be? Also, Hawkinson value in that Superflex non-tight end premium. Yeah, I mean, I'd be willing to move up 109 to 105 pending the cost. I want to try to get a quarterback at that spot, and I think you're going to be able to do so. Also, Kyle Pitts at the 302 is an absolute steal. I considered him if Kyler Murray was off the board here, but obviously, I had to go with Kyler Murray because I took Jefferson in the first round. Just imagine they trade for Lance. Could you imagine that? That'd be hilarious. All jokes aside, though, I think Lance would go to like a retooling team. Bush is going to love this, but I think Tampa Bay would make a ton of sense. You trade for a guy like Trey Lance, maybe add a receiver in the draft long term, because as much as I like Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, Mike Evans is 30 years old. Chris Godwin, obviously, younger, and you could build around him for the long term. But you add a guy like maybe even Jordan Addison falls, and that would be lovely. You compare him with, a guy like Trey Lance in the long term. I think that would be ideal for him. Lamar going to the Jets would be epic. Hall and Co would be, oh my God, if Hall went, or if Lamar went to the Jets, that'd be a really good spot for them. Looking at the board here, the wide receivers, a couple of really nice options there. Tight end, nobody I'd be willing to take. I just saw AJ's second part. Also, Hawkinson value in a Superflex non-tight end premium. Given the market, damn, I was hoping to take two of there. Given the market, I think you could probably get, a mid to late type of first, and I would be willing to sell that all day. Looking at the board here, obviously, I'm not really going to look at a running back here for the most part. Wide receivers, I think I'm going to take Drake London or Chris Olave. Let me mix it up. I'll go to Drake London here. Get a nice little young wide receiver to pair with my team. Looking good. I'm happy with how this has materialized thus far. Obviously, Drake London, we kind of talked about it in our Dynasty rankings show, but with Drake London, you're looking at elite volume, elite peripherals in his first year, a near 30% target share as a rookie. And we expect this team not to have, a league low with Chicago in terms of passing volume. It's funny because them and the Chicago Bears this year averaged or under 25 pass attempts per game. And they were 2 of 5 teams to throw under 30 pass attempts per game. So natural regression there, obviously, with Drake London. If you're getting a team that will throw the ball more, potentially, they make a play for Lamar Jackson, rookie quarterback. Maybe they, hand the reins to Desmond Ridder in his second year, let him, unleash a little bit more. Maybe a guy like Ryan Tannehill. A lot of options for this team. And ultimately here, the baseline is not going to be what he did on 24 passing attempts per game. The baseline would be what potentially they could do in the future. And if Drake London's giving you, a high 20% target share as a rookie, you're looking at a potential volume hog there. So absolutely all in on Drake London at the end of the third round. I think he realistically should be closer to the start of the third round personally. Looking at the board, though, so far, some really fun starts there. Wyatt going with McCaffrey, Hall, and Herbert. Like that there if he's trying to contend. Hurts, Lance, and I love what Jared's able to do there. Hurts, Lance, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Trevor Lawrence, A.J. Brown, and Tua Tagovailoa is a really nice start, as well as Lamar, Stroud, and Andrews. So overall, I think there's some good starts. We're going to see what Neutral is able to do at the quarterback position. I'm assuming he's going to be targeting guys like, Kirk Cousins, Russell Wilson, Anthony Richardson, maybe a Daniel Jones. I think that's a good spot there. What would you add to Goddard for Pitts? 10-team, one quarterback, non-tight end premium. I'd be willing to offer a first-round pick at least. You might not even be able to having to pay that much for a guy like Kyle Pitts. I personally still view him as a top 15 level asset in superflex. So is Pitts a bust? No, he's not a bust. He had elite peripherals, talking about high 20% target share, over a 30% target rate as a second-year tight end. They just had historically low volume, like I kind of mentioned with Drake London. Yes, sir. I know it's good. I feel you. Brent's on the clock here, and then I will be back on the clock looking at some of the wide receivers, some interesting names. Yeah, probably just going to wait for the next round. Maybe a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs would make sense. I think I might go with a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs. I don't take running backs, but in the 4th round, I think that's good value on a guy like that. Getting him as what, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 RB8 off the board. I think I like that. And I mean, realistic. Oh, damn it, Brent. Oh, he's listening to the stream. He's listening. I don't. It's a tough spot. I'm gonna go with Anthony Richardson. This is assuming, of course, he gets the adequate draft capital. This is a type of player that can realistically break fantasy football if he hits his ceiling. 4th round, I think, is about appropriate value for him, especially considering, Malik Willis with, less of a pedigree, similar draft capital, potential comparison last year, and he was going at the early 3rd round area. So getting Anthony Richardson, who I think is a better prospect in the 4th round, and I think he's more safe of a lock to go, top 20 in the draft. Sign me up. I was leaning Gibbs before you said that. You just confirmed that I want him. Yeah, no, that was a good pick, honestly. Jahmyr Gibbs was a proper pick there. It was really between him and Anthony Richardson for me. So I'll take that. And you're going to notice that in a lot of these rooms, right? Because realistically, if you're in a rookie draft, you're probably, considering JSN, Jordan Addison, the other receivers to a guy like Anthony Richardson. But when you're in a startup setting and that quarterback scarcity, especially with league winning potential like in Anthony Richardson, is very scarce, you're going to see these quarterbacks push up the board. So I'm comfortable, biting the bullet on a guy like Anthony Richardson in the 4th round area. Yeah, you just confirmed that I want him. Yeah. I gave you that little confirmation to pull the trigger. I respect it. We're in a nice spot right now, 4 rounds deep. Some interesting, nice builds here. Good work, guys. Overall, I think this has been pretty sharp in terms of what the ADP should expect. Yeah, let's see what Brett's gonna do here. Some interesting quarterbacks. Maybe goes with another wide receiver. An interesting spot for sure. Yeah, if you guys have any, questions, comments, feel free to leave them in the live stream. 40 of you in here, so I'm sure you guys have some thoughts. Maybe you guys are on break from work, eating a sandwich. Who knows? Feel free to leave those comments. I'll get to them. Brett does go with Bo Levis. I think that's a solid pick there. Kind of similar ideology to my Anthony Richardson pick. You're getting a guy that can go in the 1st round. Big arm, athletic, create structure. It should be very interesting. I've never actually played in a super flex league. Wanted to though. Oh man, they're a ton of fun. Realistically, okay, when you're playing in a lot of 1 quarterback leagues outside of the top options, there's not much else there realistically in terms of what we should value. So your guys like Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, these realistic guys, they're going to hold a ton of value in the market. But even once you get into that late 1st area, you're going to get a lot, less contingent value. With the super flex, what it adds is obviously a lot of scarcity, right? If you're adding scarcity to the quarterback position, and that 24 people are going to be started on a weekly basis, you don't want number 24 to be your second quarterback. You want to build up that value on a position that has the most longevity. So it's really interesting. It adds, a lot of wrinkles, a big dynamic here because you want to make sure you secure that quarterback position. I'm just here to observe and learn. Yeah, sir. Appreciate that. Super Bowl prediction. Man, it's going to be a really close game. Obviously, the Eagles you would favor in terms of their overall roster. But, I mean, it's still Patrick Mahomes in a big game, experience in the spot. I don't think I can pass on Mahomes here. You kind of looked at it even going into this past game against Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals were favorites going into the week. Mahomes dealing with that ankle, and on one ankle still posted over a 0.2 EPA per play. So if he's fully healthy, 2 weeks to get healthier, I think he's going to be able to get it done and potentially get his second Super Bowl title. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs. I was eyeing up Richardson. I had to go with the next best option. Yes, sir. That's a good pick. So confused when I saw like 7 straight quarterbacks off the board for a sec. Yeah, people love that quarterback equity in a super flex. So I'm not surprised there. I think I'm gonna have to go with Quentin Johnson here, though. Brandon Ayuk is pretty close. I think I'm gonna go with Quentin Johnson, though. Let me just make sure there's no running backs I'm gonna take right now. Any quarterback falling, I can wait. Actually, you know what? Like, I don't like Daniel Jones, but this is an interesting spot for him. Oh, wow. This is actually a dilemma here. Wide receiver. I think I'm going to get, comparable wide receiver value falling to me. And if I can get, a guy like Daniel Jones right now, I just think he's going to go higher in most startups, probably in that third, fourth area. Have you played in a Devy League? I might this year. Is fun. I haven't personally played in the Devy League, but me and Bush have talked about it and potentially, getting some implemented into the content, because I mean we're Dynasty diehards, we're college football diehards, so adding that little wrinkle is going to be fun. Bijan over Najee as an RB2. I have Taylor as my RB1. Yeah, absolutely, not even close. That's like 2 or 3 first of value difference there in Bijan versus Najee. How are you feeling about Zay Flowers? Looks like he's getting some hype. Top 5 2023 wide receiver class. Yeah, I mean, with Zay Flowers, I initially kind of scoffed at it. I'm like, oh, you know what? He's like 5'11", 170 pounds. Like, I was kind of, not. I was a little bit of a skeptic, but I mean, he weighed in 5'9", 185 pounds, a lot more compact, a lot more similar to an Elijah Moore, Jahan Dotson type. And I took my time out to watch him a little bit more, and the guy's very fluid. The guy's very fluid in and out of his breaks, whip routes, you name it. Any quick type of route, he's able to get that agility going. And I personally hope he would be able to fall to the end of the first round. So really opened my eyes. I think him and Josh Downs kind of had that tier 2 of the wide receiver position, and I'd be willing to get either of them at 26 if I'm Dallas. So I'm back on the clock here. We see a few more quarterbacks go off the board. Good thing I took Daniel Jones, Terry McLaurin, Jerry Jeudy, Brandon Ayuk, Marquise Brown here. Some very close options. Josh Downs, another one. I'm not going to check my rankings off my head, but I just know that this is a flat tier. I think I'm going to lean with Jerry Jeudy, though. All of them are very close, though. Classic little 0 RB from me. Just look at the running back value, though. I don't really feel like taking one right now when I can, lock down some wide receivers. I feel with all the free agent running backs this year and all the quality running backs coming in the draft, 80% of the running backs are selling now. What do you think? Yeah, I've always been on that train. I don't want to draft running backs mostly in my startups for the most part, because I know 2023, 2024 specifically in my rookie drafts, I'm going to be able to fill in. Sorry to keep spamming, lads. Final trade. I trade 102, 108 Algier and Calvin Ridley for CD, 105 Antonio Gibson and the 305 WRL. So if we're looking at it, Calvin Ridley, let's just say for ease sake, Gibson in the 305. Might be a little bit low, but so be it. Then we're looking at it 102, 108 in Algier versus Lamb and 105. Yeah, give me the package that you're getting CD Lamb side there, Marty. I'd be all about joining an FSC Dynasty or Devy League. Haven't had one yet, but definitely interested. Yeah, absolutely. We'll keep you guys updated. Obviously, we've been thinking about this for a while now, potentially implementing it. I was about to join a Campus Canton last year, so getting that familiarity with the college scene, obviously, just being able to get in early on a guy like Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison Jr. would be very nice. So keep you guys posted for that for sure. We do start seeing some running backs go off the board. Nice. We do see Najee Harris, Javonte Williams, DeAndre Swift, Derrick Henry, Ramondre Stevenson. Some interesting names there go off the board. And if I'm looking at it, a couple other guys I'm just willing to punt on. So I like how this has turned out. This is just the classic Danny. You get your 3 wide receivers, your 3 quarterbacks there, and you just you build. And I get Deontay too. Oh, if you got a free Deontay, that's sign me up. That's free. Hey boys, on my lunch break right now. Let's go, Brock. Let's go. Trade 103, 204, and K9 for Justin Jefferson. 4-player keeper. I have 101, Chase, Saquon, Brees, and K9. If it's a 4-player keeper league, okay, so I'm kind of confused. I don't play in many keepers, to be honest. So you're basically just upgrading your keeper for the most part. You're gonna get Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Chase, Saquon Barkley, and Brees and K9. Okay. Yeah, I think I'd be willing to do that in a keeper league because realistically, looking future, you're gonna have Jahmyr Chase, Bijan Robinson, and Justin Jefferson for the long term, and Brees Hall. So in a keeper league, I'd be willing to do that. I think. It's kind of interesting, though. I'm not exactly sure in terms of the relative value compared to, a dynasty league, but I'm assuming, they're going to hold less value in terms of pick equity because you're only going to be able to keep 4 players total. Sleeping on Danny Dimes, going to get the bag and be locked in a starter. Yeah, I honestly think getting him in the 5th round here is a really nice spot. Showed some promise this year, attached to, a good offensive situation, potentially going to add some wide receiver help. I don't mind if you can get him, in the 4th, 5th round. My only problem is if somebody's valuing him, in this early 3rd type of area, which I've seen him go in some boards, in some rooms, I'm not willing to take him there because there's still a lot of risk here. I don't think, he's top 12 level signal caller. So any non-top 12 level signal caller is going to give you some volatility. However, I mean, if we're looking at, those tier 3, 4 type of options, yeah, I'm for that. 12 team, 1 quarterback PPR trade 102 and 211 for Jacobs and Najee. I'm a contender. No Zuri. I'm not doing that at all. We're moving towards keeper league for the future, so adding another keeper spot each year. Thank you. Yeah, anytime. That makes sense for sure. We are seeing some names. Gotta love the 0 RB with Jared as well. Gets his first running back in the 7th round. That is very similar to me. Oh, who dropped out, man? Come on. You're going to commit to a mock draft. At least finish the mock draft, Team 5. What's going on here? Who left? That's unfortunate. Zeus, man. Zeus. That's crazy. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Love Jones and Superflex best ball because of his rushing upside. Yeah, I think getting him in the 5th round is really nice value there. Yeah, I'm all for it. To Caden back on the clock here. Let's see where he goes. He goes with Alvin Kamara, building a nice rule. I really like how he built that contending squad. Looking good there. Marquise Brown falling here is a crime. So I'm going to go with Marquise Brown. Team 5 going all in first year. Yeah, he loves that running back value. When his quarterback 2 is going to be like fucking Brock Purdy and Matthew Stafford as quarterback 2 and 3. That's crazy. Don't kill me. Yeah, I like the Charbonnet pick there, by the way. Consensus running back 3 for the most part. I think it's going to go top 50, potentially to a really good team. So I like getting Charbonnet there as your RB1, especially with how you built this team with a young appreciating value. See where Fletsky goes. Big old Fletsky. I like what he's done there too. Tony Pollard in the 7th round as your RB1 is very nice. Looking at the running backs, I mean, there's a couple names there that I don't mind. Probably just going to wait it out though. Yeah, I just think that's a pretty flat tier. See where Nucher goes. Would love to see Sharps with Frank Rank in Carolina. Yeah, that'd be really nice. I think I actually messaged you that imagine they got Anthony Richardson and Charbonnet in their first 2 rounds. That'd be really nice. How do you feel about my team? Let's take a look here. Where's Mikey's team? Fields, Waddle, Olave, Barkley, Swift, Russell Wilson, Christian Kirk. Yeah, I like how you built that. Some young, appreciating wide receivers, a couple, steady running backs, if you will. And then obviously at quarterback, Justin Fields is really nice. Russell Wilson, a little bit more ambiguity, but you're hoping for potentially coaching change to help him. So taking the risk there in the 6th round, I think, is a nice spot. Josh Downs, a really good pick there. I was hoping he fell. And Pat Freiermuth. It's clearly win now there. It should be interesting to see what should go at quarterback there. Rashad Bateman, I think, is a really nice value in the 8th round as well. Looking at the wide receivers, got Keyshawn Boutte, Mike Evans, Zay Flowers, a couple nice Elijah Moore, a couple nice names there still. Should be interesting when they go off the board. 12 team, 1 quarterback, start 8. Would you trade 104 for St. Brown or keep the pick? Definitely need to start checking out Superflex in the future as it seems more interesting. Give me Amon or St. Brown all day, every day there, Jared. He's actually my wide receiver 6 right now in Dynasty. I absolutely love Amon-Ra, so all day. Michael Mayer's a decent decent name here. I think he would be the next tight end off the board. A couple interesting quarterbacks for those that still need quarterback. I think that's fine. No real running backs I'm going to take here, so I'm going to punt the position again. Overall, it'd be between wide receiver and tight end. I think there's a kind of flat tier of wide receiver, so I think I'm just going to get Michael Mayer. I think that's a little bit of a tier gap at tight end as soon as he's drafted. So getting him in the 8th round, I think is solid. It just kind of goes to show you that you're getting, a late first type of player in the 8th round. So this rookie draft, you're going to see a lot of these players zooming up the startup draft board, which is why, again, for the last couple of years, we've kind of been saying, like, if you can build out a lot of future pick value, especially for cheaper in terms of relation, if you were able to get, these 2023, 2024 picks and like 2021, 2022, now you're laughing because you're seeing realistically the whole first round go within the first 8 rounds of a startup. So it's gonna be fun. How you feeling about Schultz? Hoping the Cowboys keep a release. He's gone. He's gone. If they re-sign him, I lose faith. I don't want to sound like the classic player that's going to talk shit about or person that's going to talk shit about a player, because ultimately here he's obviously a fine tight end, top 10-ish, top 15-ish level tight end, but realistically, whatever he does in this offense can easily be replicated by Jake Ferguson and by Peyton Hendershot, who you're paying a combined $2 million to. Dalton Schultz, he's probably going to ask between $10 and $12 million. Doesn't really give you much after the catch. Provides, a decent high point threat, a decent, security blanket, especially on those sticks that Kellen love to call. But realistically, he doesn't really do anything dynamic with the ball, and he's not a classic vertical threat that can stretch the seam. So I'm out on him. I'm out. Damn, Team 5 saved some running backs for us. Yeah. Team 5 loves their running backs. That is an interesting build. Right, these 3 wide receivers, rookies, Wandale, Dubs, and Alec Pierce. Probably going to go with Wandale, Pierce, and Dubs in that order. Is there any hope for Sky Moore or David Bell? Absolutely not for David Bell. He was one of the worst graded receivers in the NFL this year. Sky Moore, you want to send a third, mid to late 3rd round pick to try to scoop him up, albeit, but he's not somebody I'm truly excited about, even though I was really excited about him coming in as a prospect. Schultz, the product of the offense overall, absolutely. I mean, there's a reason why. There's a reason why he had a negative EPA in terms of his targets this year. He was force-fed a lot of targets given the scheme, but realistically, he wasn't going to be doing much for him. So, for the offense. So that's it. IU legend Peyton Hendershot played against him in intramural basketball. Yeah, dude, he's pretty interesting, man. He had a nice little year. Him and Ferguson. Ferguson being, that yards after catch type of threat. Peyton Hendershot kind of being that seam stretcher type of threat. So I do not want to pay Dalton Schultz at all. Looking at the board here, AJ Dillon falling here is an absolute scoop. I will take that. So that's my first running back off the board, AJ Dillon in the 9th round. So I will take that all day, every day. A couple still nice, running backs. Maybe a guy like Cam Akers, Zach Evans, if you like him, Devon A-Chain, Kendra Miller. Honest to God, like, you can scoop up a very value bin type of running back core. A guy like Tyler Algier as well, Miles Sanders. Yeah, so I would much rather attack this range of running back, outside of the first 8 rounds, build up that, volatile but high upside type of running back core rather than investing in the mid rounds personally. So, but you guys know my philosophy on running backs. Team 5 got a running back in superflex slot. Yeah, Team 5 loves to pound the rock. That is what Team 5 does. You ready? You guys ready? Look at that. Burrow, Walker, Eckler, Higgins, Kupp, Schultz, Henry, Chubb, and Mixon. He wants to set the tone. He wants to establish that run. He wants you guys to know that he is committed to that ground and pound, okay? You guys got to understand that. He wants you guys to know that no matter what, ball in his hands, drive to win the game, it's going in the hands of their running back. So you gotta love Team 5 committing to the cause. Team 5 Schultz fitting, yeah, absolutely. 102 and 103 in rookie superflex, only Fields at quarterback. Would you guys use both picks on a quarterback, trade down, or just secure best skill player after Bijan? So for me personally, that 102, I'm just going to peg for Bryce Young, unless you can potentially move up for an elite quarterback to pair with Fields. So I'm for sure going with Bryce Young, unless, of course, you can get up to maybe, add to get Trevor Lawrence, maybe if you're ready to turn around and compete, Dak Prescott guy, like somebody like that, I'd be willing to do that. But realistically, if you're just, sticking and picking and taking Bryce Young, more than fine with that. In terms of the 103, I think there's a little bit of a tier gap between Bryce and even CJ Stroud, even, the other quarterbacks in this draft. So if you're, willing to take a guy because you like him personally there, I'm fine with it because I think there's a couple quarterbacks worthy of that spot. But realistically, if you can parlay that either into future value or into a set quarterback like a Dak Prescott, like I said, I'm willing to do that all day, every day. Big T energy, yes sir. I don't know. Team 5 running a high school trenches offense, yes sir. He's got the three running backs in the backfield ready to roll any given play. Never played Superflex before, so happy this turned out. Thanks for the draft, brother. Anytime. I will be operating a quick 4-round rookie mock draft after this. Reading a couple comments first, so stay tuned for that. What's your eval on A-Chain? I'm really starting to like him. From what I'm seeing, I would absolutely love him from a real life perspective. Fantasy, I'm a little bit indifferent because I don't think he'll ever be truly trusted in a big role. But if you can get him, in the mid-second round, I'm absolutely for him there. Obviously, a super hyper athletic player. I think he's going to be the type of guy that impacts the offense in the NFL more so than he does from a straight fantasy football production standpoint. So if he goes, second round to a contending team, or maybe end of the second to Dallas, early third round to a team that could use a pass catching type of running back. Maybe, you pair him with, if I'm thinking off my head, like the Bengals would make sense if you want to pair, a big running back with a guy like Devon A-Chain and you move on from Joe Mixon. I think that would make a ton of sense for that type of offense as well. I'm going to have a lot of him on Underdog next year, but yeah, I think he's fine there. I'm intrigued by that build Team 5 nonetheless. Yeah, he big high T energy for sure. T5 is running that triple option like his Navy, is there? All right, I'm gonna unshare my screen for a second, set up the next rookie draft we'll do, and then we'll probably sign off after that, going on for about an hour or so once that's done. If I can adjust this right now, draft settings, draft roster settings, get rid of running back, receiver, and tight end. Yep. Just setting it up for you guys, and I will send obviously the link into both the live chat as well as the Discord chat. So stay tuned for that. Change it to fixed, rookies only, linear. I'm going to change it to Dynasty rookie draft. All right. I will be sharing this to you guys in a second. Here. And you guys should be getting the link right now. So look in the live chat and join up. Let me make sure I got a spot. That would have been embarrassing. Yeah, A-Chain reminds me of Moser with more receiving upside. Yeah, I think that's a fair case. Obviously, elite speed that he brings to the offense, outside zone type of runner. You add him, on a contending team. That's the type of player that you could use. Let me share my screen right now so you guys can see, and I will randomize this order. Draft order, draft settings, draft order, randomize teams. And then we start. I am at the 104 here. All right. Comment here from Cody. Sorry, I just noticed this. 12-team Superflex tight end premium trade 107, 108, 109, 201 for Watson and Hawkinson. We'll still have the 101, 106, 110, and 112. I'm fine with paying that up for an elite quarterback, in my opinion. I think Watson, I would rather have Watson than Bijan. I think I'd be willing to pay that for Bijan. So give me Watson and Hawkinson very easily there. We're on the clock here. Some interesting names. I think you got to go with Jahmyr Gibbs, though. So getting him there is a nice little spot. If Anthony Richardson, Will Levis gets the type of adequate draft capital, they'd be worthy of that spot as well. But Bijan Robinson's obviously the top running back. Bijan Robinson's obviously the top running back in this class. I think Jahmyr Gibbs right now is pretty solidified as a running back too, given that he's expected with top 40 capital. Phone took 30 seconds to load the link. I missed a spot. Oh, that is pain, Brock. That is pain. Don't worry. We'll be doing probably a couple more of these in throughout the week, throughout the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that. Your wide receiver and running back rookie sleepers. Right now, I think in terms of running back, you're looking at guys like Kendre Miller's a nice name. I think Roschon Johnson's going to get adequate draft capital, so I really like his value right now. I think those are two main guys there at running back that I really like later down the board. In terms of wide receiver, if we're looking at it, I actually don't mind a guy like Parker Washington if he goes in like the third round of your rookie drafts. I think he's a nice established, wide receiver 2-3 type in the NFL. Should get, third round type of draft capital. I think he's going to be a nice little sleeper there. In terms of athleticism, he's kind of average there, but if you're asking a guy that can play the slot right away, be a nice functionable piece of the offense, I think Parker Washington is a nice spot. Xavier Hutchinson's an extreme athlete. I think he should be able to get, top 3 round type of draft capital. I don't mind him at that spot as a sleeper as well. These top names are clearly the top names. A guy like Rashee Rice is pretty solid too. Honestly, there's like 15 wide receivers this year that, could be very interesting. Ultimately here, your best bet is just taking one that's going in round 3 or earlier, to be honest. I'll hop on into one of these in future weeks. Yeah, no, absolutely. And who knows? We might be able to do a couple within, this week, to be honest. Kayshon Boutte at the 204, I'm willing to take here. Obviously, some risk in terms of, the off the field stuff, but getting him here, I think 204 is well worth the risk. Devon Achane's a nice spot there too. So is Kendre Miller. Would you rather Hurts or Herbert in a startup? I think I would take Hurts. I will actually check right now because I think I have them literally back to back in terms of my dynasty rankings. If I check the manifesto real quick, quarterback rankings, dynasty bucketed. Yeah, I have Jalen Hurts one spot higher, so I would take Jalen Hurts there. Actually, 2 spots higher, but I mean, that's a flat tier. I would take Jalen Hurts. What would you do with Rachaad White if you can get high second round, maybe even late first round value? Because I know there's a subsect of stands of Rachaad White there. If you can get that type of value, I'm willing to sell absolutely. I don't think he's that team's long-term running back personally. Missing T5 in this one. Yeah, Team 5 is gone, man. He would take up all the running backs, though, sadly. The Cowboys, it's likely, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, if he falls, it would obviously make a ton of sense. I want him, he's a really good player, and I wouldn't be, mad at the pick, but I really want a wide receiver bad or cornerback. If I can get one of those 2 positions, those would be my ideal positions. But obviously, BPA, if he does fall, I think you have to bite the bullet there. Eli Apple deleted his Twitter. I'm not surprised, man. I'm not surprised. 111 AR-15. Yeah, that is an absolute steal. AR-15, sign me up at that spot. Charbs and A-Rich looking like nice values. Yeah, no, I think they are nice values as well. Charbs late first. Yeah, no, sign me up. A real life situation, Will Levis or Kenny Pickett to lead your team? God, well, I mean, my philosophy at the quarterback position is I'm always swinging for ceiling. I don't really see a ceiling of Kenny Pickett being a top 10 quarterback, at least with Will Levis. If you're really, excited with the tools and you think it'll feel like you can work with them, I would rather have Will Levis personally. Again, it's unlikely or the range of outcomes in terms of him being better than Kenny Pickett, probably pretty low because he's got a lot of work to do. But in that top 15th, 20th percentile outcome where Will Levis develops to his tools, I do think it could be a legitimate top 8 to 10 level quarterback in the NFL. I'm on the clock here looking at the running back position. A guy like Roschon Johnson makes a ton of sense. I think he's going to get really high draft capital, and ultimately getting him in the third round is really nice. Wide receivers, again, I kind of mentioned Xavier Hutchinson and Parker Washington would be my next 2. Yeah, I don't mind either of those spots. I think I'm going to go with Parker. I think I'm going to go with Parker Washington. I like him at this spot. What would you do with Zeke? You cut him unless he's willing to come for a vet minimum. To be honest, he's a negative impact player in this offense, making $11+ million this year, $16 million on the cap if they keep him for next year. So he's gone unless he wants quite literally a vet minimum deal, and he's willing to give up some playing time, a lot of playing time. The only time you should be using him realistically is in 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 situations. To be honest, he has no juice at this point. Say flowers to them boys, make it happen, bro. Science take. He passes the eye test. Yeah, no, he's very, very smooth. And I mean, we're talking about him a little bit in the DMs as well, but yeah, I wouldn't mind Zay Flowers. I wouldn't mind Josh Downs as well. I think they're very similar type of players. Both can be, those vertical slot type of roles while still giving you some really good, after the catch type of totals. I think Dotson and Elijah Moore would be the blueprint there at the median range of outcome. And then obviously the ceiling range of outcome, don't want to say guys like Diggs and AP because I've seen those floated out. But I mean, if a pure, savvy mover like that can fully develop, obviously that would be the highest of high ceilings, if you will. Zeke is toast. If can get anything, take it. Yeah, no, you're not going to get anything in a trade, but you should cut him. This running back depth is so nice. Yeah, this class is really nice in terms of depth. Realistically, I mean, you're looking at a lot of dart throws here. Vaughn, by the way, Deuce Vaughn. I've talked about this before, but his dad is actually one of the head scouts on the Cowboys, so that would be interesting. 5 Mike Tyson's in his prime versus a gorilla. Who wins the gorilla? It's not really close, to be honest. There's heavier, they're stronger. Like, it's as much I like Mike Tyson. Realistically, the gorilla is just gonna overpower, to be honest. Gorillas are scary animals, man. They're scary fucking animals. They get their hands on you, it's kind of over. So, if you feel free to chime in. Who do you think would win, 5 Mike Tysons or a gorilla? My answer, obviously, leaning with the gorilla. We're on the clock here. Brent's going to take Charbonnet, Chase Brown. Let's see where he goes here. Maybe a guy like Raheem Jarrett. Luke Musgrave's a solid spot there, too. Zay Flowers looks like Diggs just based on his highlights. I can't help it. I like Dotson as a median, though. Yeah, I think that's a fine comparison there in terms of ceiling. Cowboys going to have a first-round grade on Deuce Vaughn. LMAO. I think it's going to be obviously day 3 if you take the stab on a guy like that. But, I mean, if you add him day 3 and he can give you, a receiving type of option, yeah, absolutely. Cowboys, please bring Tony Pollard back. Yeah, that'd be very nice, especially if you can get him on a nice little discount because of the injury. That would be a nice bring back. Take you over both options. I am a silverback at heart. I am a silverback in the skin. I mean, just look at me. I'm a massive hunk. Like they can't compete. All jokes aside, yeah, gorilla for sure. Like, as much as I like Mike Tyson, he's an absolute fucking menace and an assassin. The gorilla would just kind of have its way, to be honest. I'm actually on the clock here. I just noticed that right now. Some interesting names. A guy like Dwayne McBride is pretty decent here. Dart throw at running back in the 4th round. I think that's a solid spot. Any tight ends that we're looking at here, Tucker Kraft is decent. Wide receivers, Copeland. A couple guys that could get, potentially day 2 capital, but realistically right now there's none, standing out. I think I'm going to go with Dwayne McBride. I think that's a solid spot for him. By the way, I'm not sure if you guys saw, but Muhammad Ibrahim is like 25 years old and he measured at like 5'7", 200 pounds. So not ideal. Yeah, gorilla easy. I agree. Danny the Tone Setter wins now. Absolutely, bro. Little one punch with the hand. You look at that. Don't mind that little cut, whatever that is, but yeah. Don't worry about the story behind that cut on the finger. Real big cat takes we got Willis here. That's auto pick. Okay. Why did I say real big cat? I don't even know what his name actually is. I just guessed. Real big Chuck. Okay. Why did I say real big cat? My God. We got Seth picking here. Let's see where he leans. Hooker at the 308 is a nice, decent spot there. Shorter. Solid pick. Yeah. Oh crap! I haven't seen the Shrine Bowl or Senior Bowl weigh-ins. Yeah, dude. Muhammad Ibrahim was like 5'7", 105. Let me see here. Yeah, that's where he was listed at, but what was it weighed at? Oh, I thought I saw it on Twitter. I'll find it. See Brent on the clock here. Let me just search this right here. Muhammad Ibrahim weigh-in. And it doesn't even show up. I saw it listed somewhere. I think it was in a group chat that it was sent, but regardless, I know he was a lot smaller than people thought. But either way, we got 2 picks left here. We'll sum everything up about an hour in this live stream. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Still 44 concurrent viewers, so appreciate you guys for that continued support. I'll be trying to do these, at least, a couple times a week, maybe a few times a week, get you guys involved. Dynasty startup mock, Dynasty rookie draw mock. Again, we are just finishing out the NFL season, only the Pro Bowl and the Super Bowl left. So start to get indulged, roll up the sleeves, and get ready for some Dynasty rookie draft. So it's gonna be fun. 5'6", 200. Is that officially what it was? Oh God, yeah, he is. Ceiling outcome Boston Scott, who if Muhammad Ibrahim potentially plays the Giants every week, he could be a very good running back. But all jokes aside, yeah, he is old and he's small, so that's not ideal. But either way, I appreciate you guys for sticking around. The 42 of you left. Hopefully, you guys enjoy the next couple of weeks. Getting ready for that Super Bowl should be an absolutely ecstatic game. Realistically, going into the playoffs, you can argue that they were the 1 seeds. They were the 2 best teams in the NFL. So should really be, a battle, man. That Eagles roster, Andy Reid versus the Eagles, his revenge. Patrick Mahomes, best quarterback in the league. Should be a very, very fun game. But till then, we'll see you guys soon. Take care.